Hi, man, with Etrailer, and today we got Jimmy here from Trailer Valet. Happy to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So we actually have you down here for some training opportunities for us, so we can kind of get more hands-on experience with your products. And that kind of leads me into one of my first questions is, what is Trailer Valet and what do you guys do?
So Trailer Valet, what we mainly focus in is trailer moving products, hitches, and trailer jacks. Our main focus is to make our campers and boat users' lives easier when it comes to unloading your trailer, putting it into a camping space, or just even putting your camping or boat trailer in a storage space. With our units, you can do really precise turning, and you can tuck your trailer away into really tight spaces when you're very limited and you can't make the turns when you're connected to the trucks. It definitely makes the user's life much easier.
No, definitely. I've actually had some hands-on experience with some of them, one of them being the MV Pro, which I thought was pretty great. We were moving a trailer back a couple months ago, and I found it super easy to use, and that actually kind of makes me wonder what all are all the different types of products you have, or what kind of varieties are we working with?
So we actually have our smallest model, which is actually the 5X model that you see right here. This is our manual or drill moving product with the drill attachment. We also have all the way up to our 12,000 pound model, which is remote controlled. So we have the manual users. We also have some that are moved with a drill. And then we have some that are battery operated with a remote control.
And see, that's the cool thing, because the other day I saw some of those remote controlled ones, and one of the biggest questions I was kind of wondering about is why someone might want to go with a remote controlled one versus maybe more of a manual style one?
So I would say the remote control one is for a couple things. The remote control with the treads on it, it obviously handles the uneven surfaces or ground or dry grass much easier than the two-wheeled units. Obviously, when you're using the remote control, you don't need a spotter as well. You can literally move your trailer and walk with it and walk around your trailer, so you don't need an extra person, to be watching you. So it definitely makes your life a lot easier. Maybe if you have back issues, an arm issue or something like that, it's definitely a lot physically easier on you. It's more, the unit does everything for you.
No, I definitely noticed that too. Because even with the MV Pro, that one being the easier one of most of the manual versions, where maybe you don't have to bend down as much or crank it as hard as some other versions I've seen, it looked really easy comparatively to how these manual ones work.
Yeah, our MV Pro is probably right in between the manual and the remote control. That one is our most powerful one with the drill. That one, as you said, it has a longer handle, so it's not as compact. That one, you're in a more upright position for the heavier trailers when you're using the drill attachment. So it's definitely a lot more comfortable with that one, which we try and listen to our customers, and it definitely makes it easier and more comfortable while moving the trailer.
Oh, no, 100%. And when you are using these are like moving with a lot of force, a lot of weight on top of them. What can someone expect for like maintenance-wise, like to help these even last longer?
So obviously the one thing I always stress to our customers is one thing that's unique about our product is it is 100% based on tongue weight. You need a certain amount of weight is required on our units to coming down onto it to get the traction to move the trailer. In terms of maintenance, it's depending on how often you use the unit. For like our more manual units, you can just easily remove one of the covers, just put a dollop of grease on your finger, run it on the chains to keep the chains lubricated. Also, every once in a while, you can also maybe tighten the screws. Sometimes the screws over time, if you are using it on uneven surfaces, they can vibrate and tend to get a little loose. And I always just recommend to customers put a little Loctite on it, and that'll alleviate that issue as well. But other than that, that is pretty much the top two things in terms of maintenance for these units. They're pretty sturdy.
Okay. So so when you said it does have a requirement, right? It has a minimum weight requirement and then a maximum point that you can't go past. That's great to know.
Yeah.
And actually going into that, some people might have issues if they weren't following that. What are some other common issues someone might find with this?
One other thing that I do hear from customers, it would be like, it would go into the tongue weight would be the inclines. Obviously, when going back to when you're trying to move it up an incline, now at that point, the weight is no longer coming straight down onto the unit. Now the unit or the weight is now shifting at an angle when you're going up an incline. So that at that point, you're losing tongue weight. So you do need to keep in mind, if you're losing tongue weight, you may need to add weight to get the traction needed to move up those inclines with the unit. So customers do have issues sometimes trying to move the unit up inclines, but that is normally a tongue weight issue. So another common misuse that customers have when using the 5X or XL is it's very important when using the unit up the inclines, you need to always be leading it with the trailer going first and the unit in the back, kind of almost acting as like a chalk. You can't be pulling the unit up inclines. It has to be leading up the incline.
Okay, yeah, just definitely more for those safety situations.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
That's pretty much the majority of my questions, kind of like getting a little bit more of an idea of how these are going to work and what situations are going to be best for them. Now, again, thanks for coming by.
Absolutely.
It's been great talking to you. If any of you guys want a closer look at any of these specific ones that we talked about today, we have plenty of demos kind of going into more detail about them. So if you are curious to see that, you can go check out some of those videos. But again, thanks for coming by, and thank you, Jamie, for coming by too.
No problem. Happy to be here.